fan fold easel card, and what you need to do is start off with a piece of DSP that measures 8.5 by 5 5/8. Now if you've got a decorative punch, you can use that to do one edge. So I've done this on my edge, and then you need or do your scoring first, which is every 1/2 inch. So you want 2 of these, and then we're going to fold it as a fan. So I'm just going to carry on now and crease. Now with it being DSP, I'm not using my bone folder. I'm just going to give it a firm crease with my hands like that. So you can do this with card as well, so you don't have to do this part with DSP. You can do it with card. I'm choosing to do it with DSP, so you can use up quite a lot of your decorative DSP that you feel sometimes is too much, because they make beautiful fans. Okay, so I'm going to do that. So I've done one already, and then I get my glue and I put it on the back so that when we do the fan, the raw edge is going to sit over the next one, so that gives it no raw edge at the top. If you do it like that, or I'll show you upside down, if you do them like that, you've got a raw edge. So if you took one under the other like that, then that is better. So I'm just going to put glue all on this one. Now it doesn't matter if it doesn't quite match your, when you put these two together. Mine don't, and when it's put together you don't really notice that at all, so don't worry about that. So just making sure those are together. Now we're wanting it to come together, let's say as a fan, so you're wanting it to come together like that. Now what you need to do is I'm going to put a dollop of glue on every up one. So I'm just going to put, and I'm putting that fairly close to the bottom, so I'm going to do that there. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, and then turn it over. So we'll just get that together a minute. So pushing that together. Oh, come on. There we go at the bottom. And then I'm going to do the opposite. So I'm going to do it there, 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 there. So just putting a dollop of glue. Don't worry about the other side. Your glue should stay hopefully wet enough to get this done. And then we're going to just pop that together again. There we go. And then I've just got a normal everyday peg there. And we'll do it in a minute. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. When I did it, I've made another one. When I did that, I actually just held it for a while. But I'm just going to put my peg on that and leave that on one side to be drying. Okay, you could do that with your glue gun. I will be using a glue gun later, but you could do that, as I say, with a glue gun. So the next thing you want, now you can choose whether you want to use a 6x6 or a 5 7/8 by 5 7/8 card. So you've got the choice. If you've got 12 by 12, you could, as I say, can do your 6x6. So you just have one that is 12 inches long by 6, scored down at 6, or you could do your 11 3/4, score down the middle at 5 7/8. Now I buy pre-made cards, and it's never quite the 11 and 3/4, and I find that they don't even do it in the length. So the card that I am using, but I'll give you both measurements, I'll try to keep remembering to give you both measurements. So I'm saying that mine is 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. Now what I want to do is I'm going to obviously fold this in half, and I'm going to risk, well, I'm going to bring in the trimmer anyway, aren't I? So just let me bring in my trimmer. You've seen me do this a lot, so just going to push that up together, and then when I'm happy that I've got that, I'm just going to go across. There we go. Okay, now once you've done that, choose how you want your easel to go. Now I want my easel to go like this, so I need to score from there to there. So I'm going to turn the trim around, so just get that again. So I'm wanting it to score along this line, so I'm going to put my trimmer in so that I've got the point of my card there, and then the fold bit, this bit here, I'm going to put that, move my blade out of the way, going to move that into my track. So you need it so the point is in the dead middle of your track, and then your score line, so that, see if I can just show you, you want that to sit, and you pick up that score line, that score line's got to sit exactly in your track. Okay, so make sure that you've got the top, you've got the bottom in your score line. When you're happy that you've got it absolutely right, so take your time with this. I'm happy now, so I'm just going to score up that line. So that's just done me a score like that, and then I'm just going to fold that, and then that's how my easel will go down. Okay, so now if you've got a 6 by 6, you're just going to take it down, do it, that's right. So if you've got a 6 by 6, you're going to just take it down your card to be 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. So you just want to square 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. However, on my card, if you're doing 5 7/8 square, you want to take it down to 5 3/4. Mine, because of the standard card base, I've taken mine down to 5 5/8 square. Okay, so just gonna glue that down. I'm using Lemon Lolly. Okay, it's a beautiful colour. Very spring-like colour, but it's winter, isn't it? But give us a bit of brightness. Okay, I'll just probably pull that out a little bit more. So my card, because of how the card base is, I wanted to work with squares, not with rectangles. So let's put a bit more glue on that. I've made it a square, and this card base doesn't appear to be very square-like. So I'll just adjust it so it looks all right on this side, more or less. Okay. And then you want a piece of DSP. Now make sure that it's not that the smaller one. Yeah, that's the smaller one. So got a piece of DSP, and that is, if you're doing the 5, if you're doing the 6-inch one, this wants to be 5 and I think 3/4 by 5 3/4. If you're doing the 5 7/8, it wants to be 5 5/8, and I've taken mine down to 5 3/8 squared. Okay, very confusing, isn't it? I'm giving 3 lots of measurements, so I'm getting confused. But in other words, if I've said it wrong, just double check. You're taking your card base down by 1/8 of an, well, more than 1/8 of an inch, didn't I? Just say, yeah, we took that down by 1/4 of an inch. I'm taking this down by 1/4 of an inch. Okay. Just double check that that's, yeah, and that's the same size. So you want 2 of those pieces of DSP, and you want 2 of the square sizes, because what you're going to do is you're going to put the piece into your trimmer so that you've got both corners in your track, and don't start from the middle. So this stops your corners from being squashed. So if you start in the middle, go up, then go down. Okay, right. So we had 2 of them squares, and then I've got a piece of DSP now, because I cut the square exactly the same as you saw me just cut the DSP. So just cutting it corner to corner, and then we'll just give an equal increment all the way around, and that we are going to place on the top here. So I'm going to flatten it down in a minute to work on it. So put your glue on the back. So I'm putting that with equal increments all the way round there. Okay, and then the other piece I want for the other side. Now I did the last card that I made like this. I just made, if you don't want to do more card base, your layers like this, you could just actually, oh, that was the wrong piece. Yeah, it's still wet. Just need to put that down equally. Okay, and that's going to go on there. So I just did a piece of DSP because basically you're not really going to see this back piece. It will only be as you open the card up. So I have done one where I just stuck the DSP the same size as the card. So this is going to go like this now. Now we've got another square. So this one wants to be 5 5/8, and you're going to cut that exactly the same going across, and then you're going to put that in your trimmer, put it so that you've got the straight edge at the top, and you're going to score at 1/2 inch and then 1 inch. Then I'm going to turn it over the other way, use the bottom of your trimmer so that you can go up 1/2 inch and 1 inch, so that you've got like that. So we'll just put that on one side for the minute, because we have this square, and this is the same size as the DSP. So whatever you did, the DSP inside, you want it to be the same size. However, we're going to leave 1/2 of it alone, but the next half I'm going to take some off. So I'm going to take I think I'm going to take 1/4 of an inch off, I think. Let me just, let's just double check, because that's the same size that, yeah, I'm going to take 1/4 of an inch off. So let's put that in there, and I'm going to take 1/4 of an inch off that side. Make sure 1/4 of an inch off that side, and then you want the other, so you can just flip it that way and then take your 1/4 of an inch off there. Okay. Now, I forgot about doing this on this side. In fact, I want it on that side. Right. Okay, so I'm going to actually just, well, I might be able to, yeah, I'll probably put it into squares. So that's 4 7/8. Let's see if I've got 4 7/8. Yeah, 4 7/8 that way. So let's do it 4 7/8 this way. So you want another square that's 4 7/8. And again, I'm just going to cut this down the middle. So I'm putting both my points in, doing it in the middle. So I'm going to go up and then down, and that gives us nice corner, and that's going to sit. Oh, I forgot to cut more off that, didn't I? I just made it the same size, silly me. So we're going to just cut off a 1/4 inch. Yeah, 1/4 inch again. I'm just going to cut 1/4 inch off that side and 1/4 inch off that side. Okay, it doesn't matter which piece you choose, they'll both work out, and then that should now go on there. Yeah, okay. In fact, don't know whether I want as much as that. Do I want as much? No, I don't want as much as that. So that piece will be fine because I've got something else to do with that. So I'm not going to take 1/4 inch off. I'm going to just take 1/8 off. Sorry about that. So on the other one. So once I've done that, I will tell you what you need to do at. Okay, I took a bit too much off that. Okay, so what you need is a piece of card. So this is for the internal stopper bit. You want a piece 4 7/8 by 4 7/8 in card, and you're going to go down the middle. Then your DSP, you want a piece that is 4 5/8 by 4 5/8 and score that across. That's what you want. I made a mistake with that. Right, just move that out of the way, and then we can put this. Now we're not going to glue this straight down onto the base. We need to put this up on dimensionals. So just gonna put this on equally. Go on. Okay, that's better. I'm just going to go over because I seem to have turned that over. I'm going to do that. Now, you can just put a few foam pads, but I am choosing to use, they do foam adhesive sheets, Stampin' Up! Do, and so I'm just going to turn this over now and put fairly wide to make my base really secure. I'm gonna cutting it more than 1/2 inch, but whatever you feel. I'm just gonna put that there, and then I'm just gonna fill the rest in. So gonna even do a bit of a triangle. Now you don't have to do this, you could do dimensionals, just put plenty on. I took that off at the wrong side, didn't I, of course. So I'm going right up into the point. I'll have a bit for the middle. Move that Oh yeah, that'll go nicely. So I'm just going to put that in so that that keeps that point all right. That's fine. That can go in the middle. Okay, I'm quite happy with that now. So that's just given me a load so that it's well supported. Take that one off, take that one off, take that one off, and take that one off. Okay, so now, yeah, that's the right way. Just gonna give myself a border of about 1/4 inch roughly, but if you look at the points of our triangle, roughly lined up, don't have to be exact, but roughly lined up with those edges there, and that will stop it then there, so you're all right. Okay, now coming back to this piece. Now the triangle that you did cut out, best thing to do is to place it on, but we're just going to get a pencil. I'm just going to pull it out a little bit more. Make sure you've got it straight, and then once you're happy that it's straight, I've pulled it out about 1/8 of an inch at least. I'm just going to mark on either side of that, and then use my trimmer to put my marks in my trimmer. And if it's not quite right, this is where you can straighten it up, look at your guidelines and straighten it up a bit, and then cut. Just put that one on one side, and then that should nicely fit in there with equal increments all the way round. Okay, right, I'm just going to pop this on here. The light's going, and I've got a glare, so I'm trying to get it straight as I can. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, right, now before I do anything else, I'm just going to stick my glue gun on, so just bear with me while I get that doing, because it doesn't take long for it to heat up. So you're going to cut up the second score line in. So where's my good scissors? There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut straight up. So I'm cutting straight up, so go through the first line at score line and stop at the second. Then I'm going to just go in, do a little wedge. Okay, now I'll do the same. So I'm going to cut up that score line exact from the first score line going to the second. Then I'm going to wedge so that that's making my tab. Okay, then I'm going to turn and I'm going to cut up the second score line. So one score line, two score lines, so you're left like that. Okay, and now I'm going to go on and burnish these. Okay, and that. Now I'm going to put glue all on this tab. I'm going to see if I can give myself some light, because I'm losing my light. And we're just going to put this level with that like that, and I need to just hold that a little while. So have that there. So hold it in place a minute, and then fold those over and put a dab of glue on there and hold that in position. so that it's done it like that. And I'm just going to hold that a second or two for it to grab. My glue does grab fairly quickly, but now we've got these nasty sticking up lines. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to angle my scissors slightly down, so I've cut it down, and this time I'm going to go up there so that that's not so high up now. Let me just get that in there a bit more. Get my fingers in there. Right, now our fan now should be ready, and we're going to put this in here like that and slot it right down to the bottom, but I'm going to make sure that's held in place. So is my glue gun ready? I'm just going to so I've just put some glue on there, and I hold it up again, and I'm going to push it down to the bottom, so it's gone in to the bottom. That's it. So it goes like that. Just make sure your fan's fanned out. So that's in the bottom. Right, I'm going to bring in now my card, and I'm just going to put my normal glue on, really. In fact, actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to just put a little bit of my glue gun glue on quick, and going to put that so that, again, that's about 1/4 inch. Yeah, just going to hold that for a second or two. With it being hot glue, it should dry very quickly, and so that's starting to shape nicely. So that's how your fan will look. Right, now I've used the let's just put that over on the side for a minute. That's okay. Right, I've used the Chiffle Daisies, so I've cut out all of the dies. So these are like the back dies. Then you've got this die next, and then you've got the die to go on top. So I've cut out all of them, and what I'm going to do is just, let's take the middle out of that, is I've got my blending brush. In fact, that looks very orange. There's a good piece of paper, so open up. Can it just go in the corner in case I don't want it to mark my, oh, that's fine. Okay, so I'm gonna go across my ink pad, and just in the center I'm just going to put on each of them, I'm going to put Lemon Lolly. Okay, and then this one, of course, is not in the center, it's going to be just on the edge like that. Then I'm going to go into this one and do the same. So that's going to be on the edge, that's going to be in the center, that's going to be in the center, and then the same again. So that's going to be in the center, that's going to have some center going off there, and come on, this one just wants it to be on the edge there like that. Okay, move my brush out of the way, close up my ink pad for the minute. Right, now before I make a mess of my card, just let me clean up my mess there. Right, okay, make sure my glue gun's not getting on everything. So now I'm going to build this up with my standard glue. So first of all, I want my back piece for the largest daisy first. I'm going to put some in the centre there. Now this is just in case it shows through. It might not. No, that's not it. And go round and round a bit with these. I think that's, yeah, that's it. So just fiddle about till you get it in the right position. Oh, I forgot, I wanted to do my leaves, didn't I? So I'm going to do Granny Apple Green. So I'm just going to go over my Granny Apple Green onto my leaves. There, got about that. Just that a bit and bring back in a cloth to clean that up. There we go. Forgot about them, sorry. Right, so next one we'll do medium sized one. Just putting glue in the middle and then working out. No. There. That's it. Put that one on. And then our last one. This is the easiest one. I like this one because it's easier. Put some on there. And put that. Get that in the right position. Okay, that's it, and then the one's now on top, so just put a bit going round and then work out where it is at. Okay, and then got this one next. Put some on there. There we go, and then the last one. Okay, and no. That's it, I nearly got it. Okay, there we go. Right, now I can bring back in my card, and I'm going to put it a bit like that. So I'm just going to put a dollop of glue on each of my things to make it secure it on. Okay, so I think I'm going to go about there. That's it. Hold it for a second or two. And then I'm going to just use my normal glue now to bring in elements. So all these are from, and I've just cut this out in gold, so I'm just going to stick that on there. Put some glue on there. It could go on top there. Oops. And then the last one. Come down there. Okay, now this does go higher, so what I tend to do is I measure, because I make a box for this. I just measure, and that will fit in a 6 1/4 square box. Yeah, that's what I made the other one. So it's 6 1/4 by 6 1/4 box it goes in, which I'll show you because I've made one. So we've not finished there because I want to put the happy birthday, and we want to put something else on as well. So what did I do with? Right, I'm just going to switch my glue gun off. There we go. And this is say what? Want to Say Dies, is it called? Yeah, Wanted to Say Dies. You've got this lovely happy birthday, and you get the shadow as well. So I've cut my gold happy birthday out in gold, and then my shadow in the lemon lolly. And I will show you, if you stick around to the end, I will show you the other one that I've made. It's beautiful, which is in its box. I'll show you that one. I've made it as a 70th birthday one, so I've used the 70 from the, I don't know whether they're called celebration dice or not. They're the one that have got the banners in and the numbers in the dice anyway, and stamps of banners it is, and I think it was in clearance. Okay, so that's going to go on there. Just got to find out where the shadow bit goes. Put that up a bit. There, that goes fine. And then get the birthday off. So just put a bit all over the place. And then find out where shadow is. I'll place that down. Right, now I also want to where's my older scissors, because I don't like cutting any sticky stuff with my best scissors. I must admit, these snips from Stampin' Up have been absolutely excellent. I cut all paper, all card, and ribbon, and they're still cutting ribbon. Fantastic. Oh, that went off somewhere. Get another piece. Try not to let that go. And I'll see if I can spy it. It's gone somewhere. Right, so just put a thin piece on, and I'm just going to put another thin piece on. I don't know whether that, oh no, just. So I'll pop that close up there, and then another thin bit. So you do find your scissors get very sticky. If they do, rubbing alcohol you want on them to get them clean. That's what I use on my glass mat as well. I'm going to put that right at the end there. So that, oh, I'll have to shove that up a bit, and that is that. Yeah, that works well. I'm just going to tuck that bit over because it's coming where I don't want it to come. So now I'm going to stick these. Okay, and then I'm going to do that at an angle to go with that. That sits about there. And then we'll put the bling on now. So there. I want my I want, yeah, here we go. I'll fancy these. So opal rounds. I haven't used these for a long time, but bring that back down. I think they're rather nice for this. That there, and that in the middle there. And I think I'd be wasting putting them on this bit, so I'm going to leave that. It will be on the front of the video. Right, now I like to write on this part, so don't press on, or do the writing on this first, and you can stamp your verse on there if you want to put one on, but do it on there. Right, so I will show you the box now, and the other one made. So this is the leftover. I've got none now left of this lovely printed acetate. So I've just made it so that the acetate, I just tend to cut and then cut out those and then just put it down. So as I say, this is for a 70th. So I made the box beautifully, and then this again goes up like that. And I haven't with this one. In fact, I think now I've fetched it out of the box, I think I am going to put some opals on this one as well. So what have I just done with them? There, put them out of my way. So I think I will put an opal up there and an opal on here. And the 70th, of course, I can't put one there. I like to put 3 on, so I'm going to put a small one. So you've got your triangle effect. I'm going to put it just down here. So I've got my triangle effect going off there. But I just think, and I've wrote on the back of there. But I hope you like that. And as I say, it sticks over the edge, look. But no matter which way around you put it, this I think does slightly have directional, so I like to put it in the paper. So this goes well in the 6 1/4 inch box that I made. Let me know if you want me to talk you through. I don't want to get that in there. Okay, move that out of the way. Okay, and then what I wanted to do is I put the acetate in, tuck it in, so that you've tucked it in on the fan bits first, the top bits, and then I tuck, and the last one to stick on is your bottom, and then that just fits on there like that, and that's how it is in there. This feels a bit sharp. See if I can cut. Oh, just sticking up sharp bit. Better. Yeah, I think that's okay. Yeah, that's okay now. So that is the fan card, easel card. Hope you liked that. So thank you very much for dropping by. Stay safe, stay well. Bye for now. Give me a thumbs up. Thank you. Bye.